Hi, welcome. So I'm Breakthrough with Eleni. Today I want to talk a little bit about how the mind-body connection works and what you can do to heal yourself physically with the emotional healing, and misconceptions around the whole idea of self-healing, what I believe it can and cannot do, and all the, the limitations, but also the awesomeness of it. So I have studied in my master practitioner training that I did the idea of quantum healing. And you might have heard of quantum healing. Deepak Chopra wrote a book about it. There's also a book by Bruce Lipton called The Biology of Belief, if that kind of thing interests you. I find it fascinating. So basically the idea is that everything is connected, right? Mind, body. You can't have one without the other, right? And we all know that when our mind is functioning optimally and positive and you're in an amazing space, you physically feel better, right? So what happens when you get sick? So I believe that quantum healing definitely has its place in healing, but it does, in my opinion, have limitations, obviously, right? So the whole idea of quantum healing is that your brain can heal your body by shifting energy at a quantum level. So if there's negative energy happening in your brain, like negative beliefs, emotions, all that kind of stuff, it's going to start affecting you on a physiological level. Just very briefly. Again, if you want more detail about it, there's tons of reading you can do. A lot of people in the medical community say this is a myth, it's stupid, it's a fallacy, it can't happen. There are some doctors who do believe that in it as well. So, for example, like Deepak Chopra. So here's what I think. So when I work with clients with physical issues, generally they come to me for emotional or mental issues, right? And often we get into the work and I discover that there's something physical going on as well. I've had clients with fibromyalgia, fertility issues, endometriosis, a host of different issues, but generally that's not specifically why they come. I am not a doctor, right? I never claim to be able to cure someone of anything. Let's just make that very clear. If you're seeing a practitioner who does tell you that, then you need to run away. I believe that we need to use all the modalities together to create optimal health in our clients or patients. So I always recommend my clients see a doctor, see a naturopath, all that kind of stuff. And what I do is complementary to that. Because what I want to make sure of is that there's no emotional crap that could be affecting the issues that are going on in the body. Because what tends to happen, I think, is your unconscious mind can deal with, piles and piles of junk, trauma, negative emotions. You just keep shoving it back, right? Our conscious mind is like, yeah, I can handle it. It's fine. I'm an adult, whatever. But eventually your unconscious mind is going to bring up issues that need to be healed, right? So you might start feeling anxiety. You might be angry. You might keep thinking of a past negative event and it's driving you nuts. If you don't, I call these pokes. Your unconscious mind is poking you. And if we keep ignoring these pokes, often what can happen is your unconscious is like, what's going to get her to pay attention to this and heal this? And sometimes it's going to show up in the body, like a rash, like an illness, like migraines, all that kind of stuff. So I do find that happens. Now, that being said, sometimes things just happen also, right? So what I like to tell my clients is, let's see. Let's just make sure there's no negative stuff happening in the brain that's affecting anything, right? Worst case, you're just going to feel really good. And best case, maybe there can be some healing there. And sometimes being diagnosed with an illness or a disease is a trauma in and of itself, right? So let's just make sure that we deal with that. So I work with a lot of clients who are cancer survivors, specifically breast cancer. And interestingly, all of them, when we go back, so with my clients, we want to find the root cause. So when I have a client who comes to me with like they're a breast cancer survivor or something like that, I always want to make sure that their unconscious mind and their brain is on board with creating health on all levels, right? Why not? So I always ask them to go back to when their body created the cancer, right? Because we want to release that. And they always know. They always know. They were, at least in my experience. So unconsciously, obviously, there was often a trauma or some kind of an event that they were pushing down. So I cannot say that happens always. Don't yell at me, okay? But in my experience, it happens frequently. And I find it so fascinating. I've had clients and we deal with issues around sexual type of stuff, and their endometriosis or ovarian cysts, that kind of thing, is less painful. It starts to heal. So I think it's very interesting. And whether or not you believe in it, I always say, why not? Why not try? Because you're going to feel great anyway, right? Let's release all the emotional stuff that could possibly have any type of effect on you physically, because I think it's always worth it, and it is always going to make you feel awesome. And how can your mind not have an effect on your body? It's not like your head is disconnected, right? And we know our unconscious mind is keeping our heart beating. It's keeping all your functions happening. So to me, it makes sense that a lot of times that physiological issues would have to do with your mental state and past trauma. All my fibromyalgia clients had suffered a trauma before having symptoms of fibro. So it's something I see in my practice all the time. And it is so fascinating to me. But I always say, always work with your doctor, work with your naturopath, work with your chiropractor, whatever you do normally, because I am not a doctor. I can't diagnose things. All I can do is help you on that emotional level, and it often creates physiological shifts. I mean, I can even see it in my clients' faces when we shift in emotion. They get all pink, their face changes, right? There's a direct correlation there. Now, obviously, I can't fix a broken bone, right? With the work that I do. NLP is not going to fix a torn muscle, but what it can do, so I've had 2 shoulder surgeries, and what it can do is help the healing, right? Help you get into a state where your body is able to heal quickly. And that's where I love things like Reiki, like energy work on top of the medical work, right? I needed the surgery. There was no 2 ways about it. I needed painkillers after my surgery. I'm not ashamed of it. But what I was doing is doing the work to help heal the surgery so that I got back on my feet more quickly. So I'd love to know what you think about quantum healing, mind-body connection, all that kind of thing. But I would always recommend that you start to really think about what's going on with you emotionally when those physical symptoms come up. Do some journaling around it. It's really, really interesting when you start diving in there and maybe realize, oh, that happened after this traumatic event, or oh, this happened after my divorce, or I've been feeling so angry lately, and what is going on there? Let's make sure that everything and every part of you is functioning at an optimal level. Let me know what you think. Make sure you're following me on all my channels at Breakthrough Eleni, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel here so you get notified of all my new videos. Have a great day.